Hi, everybody. So here we are on stop 5 of the virtual book tour that I'm holding to celebrate the release of Through the Black Mirror, the soon-to-be-released City of Nightmares, and the sequel to this amazing thriller that I am very happy to write, Blood Moon. Just have any hard copies of this at this point, but I will be ordering them. So a part of the win is getting a hold of a signed copy of these books. We are waiting on our special guest tonight. So with us, of course, is our lovely moderator and the co-owner of Fireside Publishing, my lovely husband, John. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and he will let us know when we get those. And well, you can be sure that you follow that little ticker's advice down at the bottom and enter the giveaway. It is in the YouTube comments, so it's in the description. We would love to give you a chance to win some awesome bookish goodies. So I will be happy to share some of those with you. So you'll get, obviously, up on the roster is the copy of these beautiful posters behind me of the book covers of my books. I will be signing and sending those out to our winners. So you'll have these lovely covers by the amazingly talented Emily's World of Design signed on your wall if you want to put them there. So those are some. And then another thing that I have are these lovely bookish candles that I will be giving away. These are just 2 of the many that I have, so those will be included could be included in the giveaway. Here he is, Mike. Hey!
Here, what up?
One of my favorite people in the world, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and amazingly talented Mike.
This guy.
Yep, that guy. That guy right there.
Oh, this way, yeah, this way. What's up?
He's got you need to go talk to this dude. So.
Well, I appreciate you, A, having me on, and B, letting me adjust your schedule, because I know you're supposed to have me on later, but then I couldn't be. So I'm like, I got off work and I just rushed to a parking lot, and then I'm in here in my car just to make this happen. This will be fun.
Oh my gosh, so we have a special location that you made for us. So yeah. Introduce yourself, Mike. Let us know who we're talking to and some of your awesome exploits, because I know.
My name is Mike Salt. I write horror. I've had 2 published books. I won 2018's Inkshare horror competition for my novel Blind, which has yet to been released, but it'll get there. I have 4 kiddos. My wife is very busy, and I have 2 dogs, and that's about me.
I think you need a couple of cats, maybe a few birds. Let's throw everything.
We're getting a cat.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're adding the cat.
Yeah, my wife gave me the option. We can have a cat.
And some birds.
Yeah, a cat fish. Or a tortoise. So
a tortoise. Okay, tortoise.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to having a tortoise.
So we're getting exotic. Okay. Yeah. So I met you when the Inkshares thing was going on, and we still have not gotten to get this book yet.
Yeah. Well, that was 2018. I got first place, and then I worked with Inkshares for about a year and a half, and then after some time there, I decided to move on. So I left Inkshares last April. And
a quick hold.
Okay, hang on a second. Sorry, hubby's fixing some tech.
We're pausing.
Yeah, we're pausing. Sorry.
We're pausing. Shh.
Hubby's fixing the tech because StreamYard does not like to behave with my internet. So
there's the behind the screens guy back there.
Yep, he's my tech. He's my tech dude. He's also moderating the chat today. So.
Yay.
So he is. Hopefully we got this fixed.
Well.
Okay. So I, for one, am fascinated. You have a horror book box, right? You were working on one. when
Yeah.
last I spoke. Okay, so has that gone anywhere yet? Have we gotten that out there?
Yeah, we did it for a couple months. My wife and I really got into trying to help out indie authors, horror authors, and like people that would do independent merch, kind of like fun horror stuff, like bookmarkers or like memorabilia or keychains and stuff. And we did candles, and we found a lot of people to help us out. The problem we found into was logistics. It was a nightmare actually organizing the entire thing. And after doing it for a couple months, I realized that as fun as it was taking a lot of my time, like from writing, and like I had to really choose between those two options. And so we just backed out of it and just kind of said our goodbyes. So everybody was fun, and we had fun doing it. And we got a couple, got some people that were coming back every month for the books. I think that it was nice to have somebody you can go to for indie authors, and I think that's what our source was for a minute. So yeah, it was fun, but didn't have enough time.
I can imagine that. Yeah, with 4 kids, 2 dogs, your wife, and your career writing, your amazing writing career, and that you have, and a book box is probably.
Yeah,
I've thought about it, but I was like, I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah, it was fun. It was and I got to meet a lot of people, but so ultimately speaking, I was just like, there's not enough time anymore. So my novel got pushed aside pretty hard, and I kind of would have had it out a lot sooner, but couldn't juggle priorities. So.
Oh, speaking of which, it's The Valley, right? Your brand spanking, it's The Valley. The brand spanking new release, right?
That came out in November, so it's still new. It's been doing fine. I like reading the reviews and talking to people about it. I did leave the ending's kind of it's vague, so I like hearing the interpretation from the readers of what they think the ending was. So it's been fun hearing what some people have suggested, stuff that I didn't even think was potential. So like if I decide to go back to that place and do another sequel to it, I might actually expand on some of those ideas that have been brought forth to me, because there's been some pretty cool things that have come from it. I
haven't gotten the pleasure of reading it, Mr. Salt. So I am going to complain and whine.
I'm going to have to give you an ebook. You're going to have to read it.
That works for me. Yeah, anytime.
Right.
I will read your books all day long. Okay, so I'm going to quiz you because you're amazing, and I have to quiz you because. So I guess the question that every author gets the first time they even get pushed into an interview is, what inspired you to write? What inspired this book? Where's your inspiration come from?
Well, generally speaking, when I get asked that, I generally lean back on my kids, really. When my son was born, I started looking at what I was doing to like kind of fill my cup and kind of make me feel happy about what I was doing. And then I decided to start writing comic books, and I did that for like 6 years, and played around in that industry, and had a couple things published, and worked a couple different publishers. And once I realized that industry is just ruthless and really hard to get any traction in, and my biggest problem really was finding artists to work with. And when I would find an artist, finding reliable artists that would show up every week and do art. So I figured writing, it's only on me. I have nobody to blame but myself. And it's kind of cool when my kids they've gotten older and have seen my books on my shelf, and they ask me questions about it. And it kind of inspires me to really want to show them that, yeah, it's not easy, but anybody really can do what they want to do. If you apply yourself and actually try, it actually, if you put your heart into it, it's possible. So that's generally why I do it.
Especially with 4 kids, and I just can't get over how much you've done. It's like you were telling me your story. I was like, no, I only have 2. And since we just went through Snowmageddon here.
Yeah, right.
Having kids, and then with everything going on, it's been to school and back, to school and home, to school and home. Yeah. Like, now, I don't even want to know how he's doing this with 4 kids. I mean,
but my My wife is very helpful. Like I got lucky. She's definitely where I tend to lack. She's always picking it up, and we kind of work. We work very well together. Otherwise, it'd be a handful. So it usually comes down to one of us takes the older two, and then the other one takes the younger two, and then swap. So.
Is there any break time in there for mom and dad? Like, do y'all get date night? Can we?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. It comes down to we have a we have a routine, and then if we see each other end the night, then we're grateful. And then I get 3-day weekends a lot of the time, and so does she. So we do get our own time together, but we do have to. We're like ships passing the night sometimes, you know. So it is kind of hard.
I can imagine. See, I did tell you it's Mama's Day, so you might have to spoil both of you for Mama's Day, you know, maybe get out.
Right, maybe we'll go get out of town. That'd be fine.
Well, yeah, two of you just pick up and say, hey, here, babysitter, I'm gone. Of course, you might have to do the cardinal sin of leaving your laptop behind. No writing, you know, just you and her.
That's why I bought a Neo 2 so I can write on the go. So I'll just wait for her to fall asleep, and then I type in bed. That's usually my jam.
Yeah, there you go. Let her fall asleep and then do the thing. Yeah. What is it? 3 a.m. is the writer's magic hours. Right. So yeah, get you there. I'm usually like 3 a.m. Everybody's asleep. Let's get in front of the computer, make some coffee, and make the words happen.
Just disappear.
Yep. Bye-bye. So how long have you been writing? Like, how long has this been going, this craziness?
Yeah, so I left for the military in 2014, and I was kind of dabbing my toes into like short stories and the idea of maybe someday doing a novel. And then it wasn't until 2017 that I finally finished Blind. But like most indie authors or first-time authors, I didn't know what the heck to do with it. Like, I sat around with it all of 2017, and then sat around with it for all the 2018 until October when the contest started. And if it wasn't for that contest, I would have been just still sitting on it. I didn't know what the next step was. It's daunting. Like, it's hard enough to write a novel. You know, it's hard enough to find the time to put in 70,000 words and then get it edited and polished and get ready to go. But what do you do when you're done with it? It was very, there wasn't exactly what to do list, you know, like there's no boxes to check. You just gotta find it yourself. So it's kind of,
it is gotta sift through the stuff.
Yeah, you just gotta find a Facebook group and ask questions.
Yep, I've got it on Facebook. And be like, what can I do? I have no idea. I have this thing. What do I do? It's like, that's the golden question.
Where does it go from here? I don't know. Like, so.
It's like, yay!
Yeah, so I was able to get it to Inkshares and won the contest, and even though that went nowhere, it did motivate me because I wanted to get my own books out before Inkshares release. So it motivated me to get more work out, and since then, you know, I put out 2 books, and then I'm going to be putting out 3 this year. So, like, that's the goal, anyways. So
let's hope 2021 cooperates. Let's hope this year cooperates with us, right?
or just make it even worse. So it can go one of 2 ways.
That's what I told my husband. I said, if I see the only thing we haven't been hit yet, and the author yesterday we were speaking to is like, we got 2 options: asteroids and zombies. Okay, we can either go Walking Dead or Apollo 13. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it could go a little bit of both. Left. You know, we could have a healthy combination of both. Yeah. Yeah. Start with the zombies, end with the asteroids. So.
Yep, then it'll all end, and we can just restart. Okay, we can try this over again, and hopefully.
Right.
That's what we were talking about yesterday. It's like, yeah, we're gonna go dystopian from here. Let's just. Let's get it all out there.
How do we print books? Like, we're always stuck with what we have at that point. We can't live in a world where there's no new books. It's just not going to work.
Well, then we'll just go back to talking. You know, it's like telling stories verbally.
It's overrated. I don't like people enough to talk with them every day. So.
No, I have to have my books too. But I mean, what can you do with the asteroid hits? You know, everybody's in fire.
All right. So
zombies plus legal open season. Get off. He's a little bit. He's crazy. I love that guy. So I think you told us how many books you've written, but you kind of tell us about the Valley. Like what?
Yeah, well,
let's get into that. I read Damned to Hell, so.
Yeah, that's right. But the Valley, it was out of nowhere, really. The story, I finished Damned to Hell, and I really wanted to take a different direction because Damned to Hell was very dark, and it was horror, but it was more just like messed up. And as a father, I kind of put myself in the mindset of what I would do if I was that character. And so the next one, I just wanted to do a traditional, old school horror. And so I was talking to my wife about what we haven't seen a lot of, and she brought up like she loves ghost towns, and I'm like, well, I could do something with that, and it ended up just spiraling into the Valley, which is a group of people go out on a little weekend retreat, couples retreat, and they find a map to a hidden valley in the Cascade Mountains, and when they're in the valley, they find an abandoned ghost town, and they figure out soon why it was abandoned. It was a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of the old school horror type of tropes and kind of play around in that ballpark, which was completely new to me. So it was fun.
So is this like a creature feature? Like, are we facing down a monster or a lore thing or something like that? Or
well, it's a ghost entity. However, it's tied into Damned to Hell. And it's tied into the next book I'm doing. Even though they're not sequels, they all exist in the same universe, and all this evil comes from the same place. So you don't have to read them all to enjoy them, but they do. If the more books you've read, then the lore becomes richer. So.
Okay. See, I was wondering, that was on my list of questions. Like, is this in the same world? Are we getting Stephen King and Dark Tower here, or are we just?
Yeah, I haven't actually. This would be where I announce it, because I've never really announced it. I hadn't had a platform to, or haven't really talked about it. But the first 9 books I'm gonna be writing, they're all in the same universe, and all the surviving characters from those books will end up together in my 10th book, and they will be taking down the big bad that's been doing all this, basically. So you don't have to read them all, but the more you read, then the more fun you'll have in that last book.
I know. In another sequel, or?
Yeah, I got you got cut out there. All I saw was hands and then a pause.
Yeah, that was he's still playing around with the tech. He does this.
Cool. Hey!
That's my second in command. He's trying to fix the lag that we've got going on. So.
Okay.
So I was asking if this is a little bit of a spoiler. I know this, so forgive me, please. But the son from the first book, like Damned to Hell, I remember his son. Does he reappear in the valley, or does he come back a little bit further down?
Yeah, he will be back. He's not in the valley. There's no return characters. But basically, if you've read the Damned to Hell and you know what happens at the end there, it's going to pay off for a book down the line in a big way. And and like I said, when it comes down to it, if somebody dives into that book and they've never read Damned to Hell, they'll be just fine. But if you've read Damned to Hell, then it kind of like it's going to have little Easter eggs and stuff in there for you. So I'm going to do a short, maybe like a novella, maybe that is a follow-up to Damned to Hell that has the son as his own story on how he deals with the situation. So.
Which was twisted, by the way, people. Just saying. That was a twisted situation.
I think the novella will make everybody happy. It's gonna, because a lot of the reviews for Damned to Hell have been like, yeah, that was dark. Like that ending was dark. So
it was dark, but it was a twist. It was a twist.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a huge twist.
the little, it might not be a novella, but it's still going to complete his story, and I think it leaves off the way that I intended for it to leave off in the first place. It's not as horrific, but it should be fun still.
Because didn't you rewrite a bunch of? Did you rewrite a bunch of Damned to Hell? Like, I remember you telling me that you were kind of taking a few things and fixing it around.
Yeah, I wrote it before I left for the military. It was still a short story, and it was a long short story. But when I finally came back to it, I kept what I liked about it and changed a lot. It was originally even darker, but it had a different ending. So I'm keeping the ending for the little spin-off I'm doing, and I think it'll be a nice little completion. I think that the people that were disappointed with the ending of the last one because it was too dark will really like how the story ends up ending. And even if you were into darker endings, I think that the way that this is going to close would really, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be nice.
Oh yeah, for me, you know me, I have to have dark endings. If you're going to write a horror novel, don't give me pink ponies and unicorns farting rainbows. I want a dark ending. Somebody has to die.
Right. So
it's like, I need all the feels. Okay. I need this.
Then my books will be for you. All right. Most of them are pretty sad.
Please. Yes, please. I need, if you're going to write me a horror, I do not want puffy ponies coming in to save the day. I need some pain. So it's like, that's what I read that's what I read horror for, right? I mean, you read romance.
I'm here for the deaths. So
yeah, romance to be fluffy and all that erotica stuff, and then you go to horror for everybody to die. So it's like,
and as an author, I'm there to kill them. So let's do this.
Yes, please, murder, murder away. Oh my gosh, I have so many things I have to ask you, but it's so hard to where to start. Okay, so for a horror author, we often get asked, number one, why are we so psychotic we can write this? We already know why. Number two, how do we write this? Because horror is not something that, it's not a romance, it's not a comedy. It's something that has to have very specific elements that are written in a certain way. And obviously you've given away your script background, which I'm so glad to meet another comic script writer.
Oh, yes.
I used to comic script back in the day too, and I am actually a screenwriter. So it's nice to meet fellow scripters who understand the pain that can go on to. So as horror authors, we have very specific things that we have to go into, and obviously we have to go into a dark place. How do you plan these things out? Like, what is your process of writing?
I really got into the horror writing itself because even my comic books were horror comics. I started watching Night of the Living Dead and stuff when I was like 5 and 6 years old, and
that explains so much now.
Yeah. Well, like my mom introduced me to it, and then it was just part of a mainstay of my household. I was watching it growing up, and then in my early 20s, I was watching a horror movie a night. And so it just was. I always liked the adrenaline and the questions, and you care about these characters, and you really, I think you care more in a horror movie about the characters because they're going to possibly die than you do in like a comedy where like you don't really care for the characters. Like something stupid happens to them, you laugh at them, you win so I think that there's more from a horror. It takes more heart, and it's a lot more difficult to write a horror novel or a horror movie or a screenplay or whatever it is, write characters people care about. So, and then when it comes to my process of writing it, I legitimately just try to find a cliche, and I try to either twist it, turn it on its head, or I really play into it, because like as a fan of horror, there are cliches and there's rules to everything you do, whether it's like slasher or a monster movie or ghost or whatever it is. They still have rules, but when you tweak those rules, it can catch people off guard. So it's kind of fun to play around in the genre. So, and then the ideas come literally out of nowhere. The Valley was just my wife and I talking on a road trip, and Blind was kind of based on life experiences at the time, and Damned to Hell was my worst nightmare come true. So
that's where they come from. That's the beauty of horror, and that's something that I love about the genre. It is very personal. It is it's pulled from the things that we just don't want to face personified. And that's what I love about the genre. So I hate these words. I'm not going to use the typical words that you describe a plot.
A plother or a pantser?
Plotser, pantser, planter. Please do not bring me that. It's like, no, don't bring me that. So do you do one of those three? Which one of those three or a combo are you?
I usually think that I, fly by the seat of my pants when I'm writing, but I find that the more elaborate my stories are, the more plotting I have to do, which annoys me because then I got to slow down and hit certain beats. But I think there's a place for both. I mean, especially when you're writing horror, you have to plot out the big points, but sometimes it's fun to just see where the characters take you. And that's where I get the most joy out of writing, is when you surprise yourself, when you're writing the words and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even see this coming. So this should be fun for everybody else. So yeah, that's generally where I like to roll.
So it sounds like you're like me. So here, I got a term, but you can use it if you want. I am a rebel. I'm not a plotter, I'm not a planner, and certainly don't have a combo. I'm a beatster.
A beatster, okay.
A beatster. It's like it's true. I was like, I get people that ask me, because I use that term all the time. It's like, don't call me no planner, I ain't no plotter, and I sure as hell ain't no planster. I'm a beatster. So it's like, what the heck is that? I'm like, it is a person that literally has that beat sheet going. It's like, well, isn't that outlining? Technically, no, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Yeah, that would be the best way to describe it. I have just certain key things I need to hit. So
I just know I got to get there.
Yeah, and I don't know how I'm getting there, but I'm driving towards it. So
nope. It's like, well, isn't that a planster? It's like, no, technically no.
I refuse to be, so no.
No, it's technically not a planter. It's like, no, it's not, because I really have no idea what I'm doing. I just know I just know the towns I want to stop off in.
Right. I don't know the trip, but I know the destination. So
heck yeah, so I'm gonna make stickers and be like, don't call me this. I am a total rebellion. So use it if you want, man, because that's what you sound like you do. So when's your best time to write? Are you a night owl? Are you a morning jay? Or are you a midday monster? Which one?
I am a whenever the kids allow me to, man. Like I used to be, everybody's asleep, so 9 o'clock to 10 or 9 to 11. That's when I would get my writing in. But now I have a baby, and the baby doesn't play by rules. He just does what he wants. So now mine is whenever the baby's asleep and I'm not disrupting life. So it's like 6 o'clock if I can fit it in, or 8 or 9, or just whenever I see the opportunity arise. And then I've tried doing the morning, the 5 a.m. morning club, whatever they call themselves. Tried that for a week or two. I got up at 5 o'clock and turned on the laptop, and I'm like, we're going to do this. We're going to be productive today. And then I was just like, I just want to sleep. Like
Working dead.
Sleep is important. So I can't. My brain doesn't even turn on fully till like 10 o'clock in the morning. So at 5 o'clock, I'm running at like 5% capacity. So it's like not fully booted yet. So I don't know. It's not for me.
5 at 5. I could see you actually walking around the house with your laptop cradled in one hand and being like, okay, Junior, go in number room. Let's click.
Yeah, right.
Hang on a second.
I just have a voice app on my phone. Idea, and then just talk into it. So it's been fun.
Oh my gosh, I bet that looks funny after you read it, right? It's like, no, dears, what? That is not what I said.
Or like in the middle of the night when I wake up and I'm like, ooh, I thought of something, and then in the next morning I don't know what that is because I don't remember what happened at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. So I'm like, why did I think that was important enough to talk about? So I don't know.
I know what happens to me is like at night, 3 a.m. is the hour of horror writers, but at night it's like it's really quiet. And then during the day, I've tried it too. I have tested the theory, and as a parent, you probably know what I'm about to say. But you will be doing absolutely nothing of importance. Like you'll be just, yes, technically 5 a.m. is my bedtime half the time. That is technically true. So yes, that is true. I'm making coffee at 3, but my daughter will come up like, you're doing nothing. I'm just watching Law and Order. I've tested it, Mike. I've tested it. Okay. I was watching CSI New York. No one's in the living room. Absolutely nothing going on. It's like, okay, so everybody's settled. They're playing games. They're watching movies. We're good. I turn it off, come to right. Everyone comes out of their holes. It's like,
they hear the keyboard clacking away, and they're like,
that is exactly right.
It's time to attack. Let's go. We're gonna come out in unison. All right.
Look, she's not boring anymore. Yes, I'm fixing to be.
Right.
I'm fixing to be like super boring. So I have tested with everything that I know to test it. Like, I'll be playing Bloodborne with my husband. No one is there. As soon as Bloodborne goes off, I try to come write my word count. Everyone's like, oh my God. So on Saturday,
like sharks,
exactly. It's like, am I bleeding? You start checking for cuts. Yeah. It's like, who laid the tripwire today? It's like, it is. So it's like, as a parent, like, how do you find, as a parent, obviously, and people ask as parents, how do you find time to do all of this? Like, it's not just writing, it's marketing and publishing and engaging in social media, which you are fantastic at, by the way, and email lists and blah, blah, blah. So how do you have one kid on your shoulder and doing all this stuff at the same time?
I don't. I don't. I lack in one part to make up for another. It sucks sometimes. A lot of it's when I can get it in. Especially like social media, you kind of have to stay on top of it, and kind of, if you don't communicate with everybody that's communicating with you, then that's an opportunity lost to get to know somebody that might actually enjoy your work. And then finding people to review your books, and finding people to outlets to sell your books, and it's a lot. And especially with the babies, and luckily my wife's very supportive, and she's known from day one that it's kind of been a goal, and so she makes sure she carves out a little time for me to do, have to myself. But even with everything, there's still not enough time. So I like to jump on my phone in small spurts. Instead of doing everything at once, I will do like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and eventually it'll add up. And in between those times, I can do what I need to be doing around the house, or with the kids, or homework, or making dinner, or folding laundry, or going on walks, or it's better to just do it in small doses, I find, and then hopefully have a big 2-hour chunk at the end of the night I can write with. But there's a lot, and so like anybody that is diving into it for the first time, like, don't beat yourself up. Like, nobody, unless you have no kids and you have no love interests and you're just by yourself, like, yeah, you probably should have plenty of time to do it, but like, life does beat you up. You're not gonna be able to do everything you want to do, and you need to accept that. As a writer, you're gonna have the days where you get everything done on your list, and there'll be days where you just don't make much movement at all. So that just comes with the territory.
Yep, just there are days that you're not going to write, or if you do, it's going to have to be journaling, or So I was just writing a blog post, like 7 ways to beat writer's block. It's like you have to realize that, number one, you can only do it if you want to. It's not a part-time job. It is a full-time job, especially if you're wanting to become well-known in the indie industry. So it's definitely time management, a lot of things, and there are times where you just are not going to be able to write. So don't beat yourself up. I don't write every day. I will be the first. If I have to chunk a day, if I have to chunk a day or two, and then I have to go back a day and like write 3,000 or 4,000 words a day, then I will do that. It's just, you got to be okay with not finishing up your to-do list.
Yeah, and I've always been in the mindset that progress is progress. Like, yeah, I have goals of what I want to hit every day, but if I sit behind my computer and put down 500 words, it's like I'm getting closer to that end goal,
That's definitely.
And there's just some days where I just cannot feasibly get behind that computer, So And that's why I bought the Neo too, so I can ride in bed and write on the road. Like when we go on road trips, my wife will drive and I'll write, but
Oh,
it
you
doesn't
can
always
write in the
happen.
that makes my nausea just like
Whoa, whoa, offense.
Oh yeah, it's like
No, I my wife gets motion sickness by looking at her cell phone when we drive, and the kids like too windy of a road, but I can write. I bring my laptop or my Neo and I just write. And then you put some headphones in and you just forget that you're in the car, and it makes a 5-hour drive go by like this.
So I have not tried the headphones, so I will try that. But I have tried writing on my phone, and I literally my motion sickness is like
Dramamine. That's Dramamine.
I keep it in my purse. I have to. You know, parents carry around a pharmacy in our purses.
Right?
Okay,
Yeah,
who
we
needs
have a backpack.
Who needs a little aspirin? Okay, I've got Motrin for the.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, that little workshop. So
pretty much morphine.
Yeah.
CBD.
I got a little bit. I got all of it. No.
I call my mom my legal drug dealer because she gives me like allergy stuff. So it's like yeah, as parents, you know what it's like to be a legal drug dealer. Okay.
Right.
So, we got everything in our backpacks. We've got sniffle like tissues and antibacterial sanitizer, contact solution.
I carry around stuff that I never thought I'd be carrying. So I got my wife bought Boogie Wipes, and I didn't it's like baby wipes but for boogers. I know that was a thing, but now I own them, so whatever.
The little green package.
Yeah. Didn't know that was a thing, but now we own some and I have to carry it around everywhere. So
totally. See, guys, we're human. Writers are human. Despite popular belief, we have lives behind the
pages. So
behind the pages, yeah, there's a lot of blood, sweat, tears. I personally think
and
some
boogers.
And boogers, yep, boogers, spit up, screaming, alcohol.
Not enough, but it's there.
No. So yes, we are human people. You're hearing it from parents. So so you have to tell us what's coming down the pike for you, because we had the jury is still out on human. Get off. The jury is still out on the humanity there.
Yeah.
That's my hubby. So I can give him heck. Yeah, we are. It does seem like we aren't. Parents are definitely aliens, that's for sure. But it's even weirder. It's even weirder with kids because they come.
Right.
Sometimes I wish I could just look in the back of their heads to see through their eyes. It's like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, especially with the newborn. What did you see right now? What is this world?
Is he sleeping through the night yet? Like, are we at night? No. Okay.
No.
Hey, mine did. Both mine went early, so.
Yeah, I thought I would have plenty of time, but this baby just like refuses to sleep between the 8 hours of 8:30 at night and 5 o'clock in the morning. He's just mad. I don't get it. He's nothing to be mad about. He's a baby. So.
Author in the making, man. He's just mad he can't write yet. That's all.
Yeah. I'll have to sit him down and teach him to practice, but first get some sleep. That's the number one rule.
The most important rule is that daddy gets some sleep.
So we start off at it. So
exactly. Sleep first, think later. The muse will come at 3 a.m. later.
Trust me, it's fine. Just get some sleep.
Please, for God's sakes. I taught my kids early on. I said, if you want to make it past the age you are now, you will part the waters and let me get to that coffee pot.
Yeah, I mean, well, my wife's very much a coffee drinker, and I don't have the patience for coffee. That's why I have a stash of energy drinks ready to go.
That's my husband.
There's a pop of a cap, and I'm ready to go. She has to like brew it, and then there's the cream, and then there's the little foamy thing that she had. I don't know, but
that's a mama thing.
That's too long. I don't know. I'm impatient.
Lady things. That's totally a lady. I'll tell anybody. It's like, yeah, that's totally a me thing. I want coffee with my cream. I don't want cream in my coffee. So it's like I totally understand it from a mom's point of view. It's just that I think it's a girly thing. You know, we like those little girly drinks, and Makes no sense to me, but that is the thing there. So where are we going after the valley? Like, what are we looking forward to? Give us a sneak peek.
I am writing my take of a haunted house.
Ooh.
It's not a haunted house, but it is. So I mean, I can't really get too far into it, but it's something I've been wanting to do, because every author has their own take, every horror author anyways, but have their own take of a haunted house. And I had this idea for what I think would be fun to see in a haunted house. And I think it'd be fun if the character thought it was a haunted house, and it, ends up being something entirely different. But so that's where I'm going next. And I'm about 15,000 words into the one following that. It's kind of The Descent, the cave horror movie from 2005, whatever.
I love that movie.
It's The Descent meets House on Haunted Hill. So it's that one's a lot of fun. It's just a haunted cave, and I'm throwing everything at that one. I think if you have a fear, I'm going to get you in this book, because I have clowns, I have spiders, I have snakes, I have claustrophobia, I have heights. I have a little bit of everything. This book is like, I literally just looked up every phobia or just main fear, and I found a way to incorporate it. It's going to be fun. It's going to get everybody. It's a little for everybody.
So I'm going to have to literally get on Instagram and be like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, that's the idea. I
was okay with the twisted ending of this book, but seriously, claustrophobia.
Yeah. I like how you already predicted the twisted ending. Yeah, it'll happen.
I know you. What can we say? What was it? 2 years now? We're going on 2 years? 1 or 2 years?
Right. Must be.
So it's been
21 now? God.
Yeah, it's been that long. I was talking to somebody night before that I have known since he was 14, and he's now 17. So it's like where did the years go?
Yeah, man. I'm getting too old for this, so I need to.
Oh, you were in the military. You're already 10 years older than you should be.
I age so quick here. I started off so young and fresh.
My husband's ex-military, so I totally get you there.
So he can relate.
Totally can relate. Yes.
I'm still in my uniform. Like
I was looking. I was like, he is so wearing his.
Yeah. Like I said, I jumped straight into my car and then just found a parking lot. So.
Okay, don't tell me, because I think you've told me before. Is it Air Force?
Yeah.
Yay! Because I know you've told me before. I was like, that is not Marine.
No, I do not have the self accountability to be Marine. All right. Like.
That's the dad with 4 kids and still an indie author here. I mean, I call bull.
I mean, touche, but still. Something about somebody yelling at me for the entire career. At least in the Air Force, I can disappear. Like, I can hide. So I'm not cut out the same material to be Marine.
My dad is I think I told you my dad's in the Army. So it's like, I'm surrounded by military. You guys can't hide. You can't hide from me anymore. I totally can point you out.
Right. Yeah, the haircuts give them away a lot of the time. So
for me, it was the green neck. That's what gave it away for me. Yep, that's what gave it away for me. I was like, he is so uniforming out right now.
I don't usually wear my uniform. I almost always change in the locker room, but today I did. So here we are.
Well, I feel special. Thank you for doing this for us. So see guys, he made a special trip just for us. So there's a lot of love.
Clearly, yes.
A lot of love. So your next one, can you give us a title yet, or are we just going to keep that under the rock?
That one is called The House on Harlan. And it is scheduled for release in May. So let's hope I can meet it. So, because I have a couple things I need to change before I can start sending it out to betas and get it ready. And then the one after that with the cave is called For Those Who Seek the Light. So.
Oh, I like that. That sounds deep.
Thought that was fun, right?
Deep.
Yeah. And then sad. So.
Oh, that title kind of gave that away. So title kind of gave that away. It's like, so grab your tissues. Great. So he's got claustrophobia, clowns, snakes, spiders, and tears.
Yep. If you're afraid of tears, avoid it.
Yeah, that's the one phobia: tear phobia, cryophobia, whatever you want to call it.
I don't think that's. I have not heard that my book made anybody cry yet. So maybe that'll be something I can stride to. So. Like, Damn to Hell, no review said that they've cried. And Valley, nobody said they've cried.
Okay, I did not cry in Damn to Hell because technically I have a hard time with that particular thing. But I did. My heart was like all to feels. So I was like, I did not want this to happen. You know, as a mom of a son, I was like,
right.
Oh, I cannot imagine what this would be like. So yeah, it did tear
all right.
my
So I got the feels. Let's do this.
You got the feels for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm crying. I've just never been a crier.
There is a part of the Valley that I'm like, if somebody's going to cry at one of my books, it's going to be this part. And still nobody's cried. I've had people be like, that one particular part, real sad, wasn't happy about it. So.
Well, duh, you're sad. You're not supposed to be happy about it.
Touche.
We want this. This is horror, people. We're not looking for happiness.
That's why that was made. I don't know. It was my goal.
Oh, you know what? I thought of something that would be, number one, fun for you to enjoy because it's hilarious, and my husband and I just watched it. But two, I would love to see your take on it. What's that called? It's Willy's Wonderland. We just watched that one with Nicolas Cage.
It's Nicolas Cage, yeah, about
he said not a word.
That looks fun.
Not a word. It's awesome. I would love to see your take on it, considering you love to take and bend and break. So
yeah, that would be fun. I didn't know that was out yet, so I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna watch that one. That one has been on my list.
It's on. Oh my gosh, we love that movie. It was so amazing.
Really?
It wasn't really horror per se. We didn't exactly get freaked out because of course we're the Five Nights at Freddy's generation. So I'm just saying.
That's basically what it is. So.
So, but no, Nicolas Cage said not a word that entire movie, and not a word. And I think you would enjoy it if you.
I do love that crazy man. That's the name of my fantasy football team is the Cages, and it's a picture of Nicolas Cage. So I have some kind of weird love for this man. So
he's awesome.
Yeah.
He can't do a bad movie. I mean, even the most corny, horrible. I mean, the only movie I really complained about that he was in was The Vampire's Assistant. Or no, it wasn't The Vampire's Assistant. It was the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah. It's a miss. It's a miss.
It's definitely a miss, but I don't really blame him for it. I don't think his co-actor was up on that. Yeah, you know, the kid wasn't quite. I mean, he was cagey. Obviously, he was very emotionless in how he was supposed to be a mentor character, but the kid was like, yeah.
Nothing wrong with Nicolas Cage, right?
Oh no, God, I love that man. In my eyes, the guy cannot do a bad movie.
I will definitely. I'm gonna watch that movie and I'll write a review for it and tag you.
Oh, please do, because that movie, I loved it. And the minute you started talking about taking all the tropes you want and totally destroying them, I would love to see your take on that, because I started thinking about it myself. I'm like, you know what? Somebody needs to make a compilation or an anthology based on haunted animatronics, because this would be completely and utterly crazy.
There was, I forget what it came out last year. Is by the author of Kill Creek. He wrote a screenplay and turned into a movie, and I forget what it was called, but it was kind of like black horror. It was kind of dark but funny, but horror. Came out like 2 years ago or last year. You look it up. It was different. It was fun though.
I forget
what it's called.
I love Kill Creek.
It was based on one of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons. For the life of me, can't remember what it was called.
Oh my goodness!
But it was fun.
See, now I'm gonna have to go look, because I love Kill Creek. He's got a way of writing. Him and Adam Neville. Oh, I love Neville.
Yeah, Thomas Scott. Scott Thomas is pretty nice. He actually reached out to me after the Inkshare stuff, because he was from Inkshare, and he's really cool. Talked to me and
really?
Congratulated me, and he was a really nice guy. So I was pretty happy.
See, fine, we can still be friends, but I'm gonna be like,
No, he seems he's really nice. I really like appreciated somebody like of his his clout to be like, congratulations. He reached out to me and told me what to expect, and like he was rooting for my book, so I was really excited for it. So
Man, see, now I've got all the jealous feels. See, this dude can elicit feels, people. I mean, all the jealous feels now. It's like,
jealous? I'm going to cry next. All right, let's do this.
I mean, crying and be like, I hate you so much. Oh my God, that's amazing. No, I love this guy, people. I mean, I'm so glad I ran across him on accident, but it was just so much, so much fun. Okay, so for the last 10 minutes, I'm going to ask you two things. Number one, obviously, is where can people find you? And number two is every indie author has the big, horrible pachyderm in their front pocket called marketing. You have a heck of a life. How and what do you do?
What was the first question?
You have heck of a life?
Yeah.
How do you do this? What is your mark? What are some things that you've seen that have worked for you? Because indie authors are terrified of that pachyderm.
I love marketing. Like, legitimately, if I was in the military, I would try to get into marketing somehow. It's fun trying to be creative and try to trick people into buying your stuff, So I found the best thing in marketing is, for me, has been Instagram and not Facebook. It's been posting, creating a relationship with people and getting people to know you on a personal level. Like, nobody wants to go into an Instagram page and see just pictures of your book. They want to know who they're buying. They're not buying the book right away because they don't know your book. They're trying to buy into you as a person. So I try to sell myself. I try to have fun with the things that I do and let people really jump on board with me having fun with my family, or whatever it is, and then hopefully that will take off in a couple of sales. But then as the uptick in people buying my books, I can share those images of people sharing my books or reviewing my books, and that has been the easiest thing for me as far as marketing go, is just the word of mouth. When one person buys your book and they share it on Instagram, and then you can share it, and then the next thing you know, it's taken on a life of its own, and you see the book. You're just scrolling on your feed, and you can see your book just pop up. It's kind of fun. But I hunt down reviewers, and I'll send them ebooks. I mean, obviously, I don't just attack somebody, but I do send a message, and I just ask if they're open for submissions. And if I like their page, I'll send them an ebook, and or physical copies are always nice if I can have the extra change to throw at them. But
definitely.
I make marketing packages where I have like bookmarks and coffee mugs or tumblers were the last one that were horror related, and then I think that comes from the book box we did, so I kind of know. So I create basically my own book box of Mike Salt memorabilia, and then I send those to a couple times I don't know, like 2 or 3 every couple months, and because they're not cheap to make. So I'll send those off to some reviewers, and because they seem to enjoy it. But yeah, I don't like paying for ads. I rather pay for my book to be out there and people enjoy it than pay for ad space that you're paying on Amazon for click counts, and those almost go nowhere.
They really don't. We've tried it with BookBub, Amazon, Facebook. We got clicks, but that was all we got. There was no conversion.
Yeah.
So you mean book nerds like bookish goodies? Get out of here.
Yeah. And also I find that the cover, taking the time, if I can give another advice to anybody starting out, is when you finish your book, the cover is just as important, because we're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but everybody does. And you will, maybe you can't spend that much money on a book cover, but find somebody that will do it for you or help you out, because they sell. Yeah, exactly. People will see a book cover, and without even thinking, they will be, wanting to know more about it. And if your cover's bad, you're going to have a hard time convincing people to jump in on your book. So any advice I could give in that avenue is just be sure and give your cover some thought, or at least finding a decent cover. So
And I've seen that taglines are actually something that's playing. I don't know if you put taglines on your books, but I know that it's put a lot of radar. You know, it's like the first thing they see is the cover. They see the tagline, they turn it over. So I've seen those.
Yeah, like the tagline for the Valley was "Don't go into," and then it's the Valley, and then "Damn to Hell" was "What would you do to see your son again?" And so
I do remember that. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was on there.
I'm sorry, I read so. You know me. I review so many books. Have a little mercy, okay?
Yeah, touche. I think I can get you a break. So.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've got like a whole shelf full of indie books that people have sent me to review, so I'm trying to whittle those down as best I can. But
it's hard, especially because everybody keeps writing. If everybody could pause, every author could take 6 months off, I could catch up maybe instead of people releasing more books all the time. It's too big of a pile at this point.
Well, see, then you'd have a horror movie in and of itself because all the authors not writing would go into the asylum because they would be going insane.
Now I got an idea. That's the next book. Thanks.
Asylum full of authors.
Okay, I'm into it.
Yeah, totally run, man. And if you go with that, I have to see it. I have to read that book. The Asylum for Writers. You will never write yourself out of that one.
At least I could see that being a 3-part series. So I think there's some miles in that one.
Oh, that would be fun, totally, because it's the reality is there. I mean, look at Misery, for God's sakes. That's all about a writer being held prisoner by a psychopathic man. I mean, come on. Grab this, right? People. So tell us where people can find you and A Year Without an Author. Get out of here.
Maybe. I don't know. It could happen. I am on the gram at Mike_Salt. And then Twitter and Facebook, I'm at Mike Salt Moose because Mike_Salt was taken. So that's where I'm there. And then my website, which is poorly maintained. Like I said, I dropped the balls in some area. I'm pretty sure my website, MikeSaltAuthor.com, still says coming soon, The Valley. So I don't know. I mean, I'll get around to changing it, hopefully. But
okay. Don't worry about it.
And that's really about it. I think that if you're going to follow me on Instagram. Let's have fun. But
yeah, you are pretty active. He's active on Instagram, people. Active.
Yeah, if you want to be on Twitter, then I just use that to stalk NFL players. That's basically all I do with that page. So
stalk NFL players.
Yeah, I like to see where they're moving with teams and stuff, but I don't think I actively do anything on there. And then Facebook I find to be relatively useless for authors, so I don't do much there.
So you don't use groups or anything? The author groups?
I do, but I joined those as myself, as the full version of me, not the author version. There's some really nice groups. For horror authors, a guy named Joe X has a really good horror group called Get Writing Horror, and I find that there's a lot of valuable information out there. Writers Network and then Horror Writers Association each have pretty good groups that people are willing to help, and if you have questions, they will help you. There's somebody there to help you. So
I'm part of Horror Writers Association. They are pretty helpful. A lot of good.
Like legitimately, they'll come out there and you can ask a million questions, and there'll be somebody out there that's willing to help you out. So
yeah, you are not alone, people. Don't worry, we are here to help. We know what it's like. So last 2 minutes, and I think I heard somebody's phone ringing. Might have been me, but somebody's phone was ringing. It might have been mine. But if you did have anything you wanted to tell authors aside from the covers, what else would you tell them that have been crucial and really important?
I like to tell, because when I am asked this, I always say the same thing. I think it's really important. Is just when they ask me like basically best advice, and I just say just write. Like that's it. Like if you're not writing, then you're not going to write. Like. And it's sometimes that first chapter is the hardest thing you're going to write the first time because you want it to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. That's what later drafts are for. And that's what beta reading's for. And that's what people just start. If you're not going to start, then you're going to overthink it and you'll spend forever thinking that you have this story that you're just never going to get out. So just stop making excuses and just start. Anybody can write. I mean, legitimately, as long as you have the energy and the motivation, you can do it. So stop making excuses.
That's right.
And that's my advice. It's very upbeat. All right. Instead of saying it, I'm going to say, just do it. We believe in you. Just write. Write the thing.
Do it.
Yeah. Do it.
Say a little buff that thing. Do it.
Right.
No, it's true. The first lines are always the hardest. And for God's sakes, if I could add on to that, don't edit your first draft.
Don't do it.
Write the silly thing.
I don't believe in editing till the second draft. All right,
yes,
come back
please
to it.
Don't. Just and let it rest. Do not be afraid to let the thing rest. Okay, give it a week. Okay,
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. You've got other ideas. I guarantee it.
It's not going anywhere. We'll be fine.
No, it'll be there, and the beauty of it is your brain will be fresh. You'll be good. Me personally, after I finish a draft, unfortunately, I am a rapid release author. What's wrong with me? But so at least. Jessica Wright says, haha, that's all I could picture in my head. Well, thank you for coming, Mike. It is such a pleasure to finally get to speak to you in person. And I know your wife's probably buzzing your phone at this point. So we'll let you get back to your wife and your babies and be prepared for the relatives to come meet the new little bean.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate having you on here, and I really appreciate you giving me the time to change your schedule around. And thanks for the opportunity. I had fun.
Of course, we'll set up a coffee date on Zoom or something. That's what I'm doing with my other author friends. Be like, let's just have a coffee Zoom.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm in on it.
Awesome.
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks. Yeah, I'll bring the coffee. You bring the energy drinks. We'll be good. We'll be jazzed up. Well, you have a good rest of your night, an amazing weekend, and thanks again for coming.
All righty. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.